Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. Yes, a little bit past, no, right at 7:30 on the East Coast. So a little late than normal, but I showed up. I have been ill recently, in case you were unaware. Bouncing back from either a cold or a flu or whatever is the thing I'm bouncing back from. But I am bouncing back from it, so I have a little bit left. Maybe you're gonna hear a little cough or something as I go through this, but I'm going to still give it my best shot and see if I can get through this. There were just so many things I wanted to chat about today. And I thought I had to get back in action and start doing this. I guess the piece I want to bring up here is a little bit of I told you so. A little bit. I do like it, but I do like my I told you so, but a little bit of it. All right. I would love to have Gary Johnson, the former Libertarian president candidate from 2016, to be the president of the United States. I would have loved that to happen. I've accepted many years ago, this is true, that he will never be president. I don't like that, but I accept it as true. I accepted it years ago. Never going to happen, not going to work, whatever. We wouldn't be going through half this crap if that wouldn't happen. All right, so why would I bring this up? Why would I bring up the fact that Gary Johnson, I've accepted he won't be president ever? I got it. It's done. I'm not happy about it. Because there are certain things that people need to just accept as true. I mean, they're not gonna, but they really should. What do I mean by that? I've told you more than once, America is going to defend Israel no matter what they do. And people go, no, you don't understand this bad thing, that bad thing. It does not matter. It is irrelevant. America is going to support Israel no matter what it does. And you might go, well, Larry, what if Israel does bad things? Then we will support them. Well, if they do good things, we will support them. It doesn't matter. America will support Israel no matter what. That's what I've been trying to tell people. And they get mad at me for that, as if I'm the one who made it up, as if I'm happy about this. I'm a libertarian. Why the hell would I want more foreign wars? Of course I don't. I've never wanted that, ever. All I'm saying is we have to accept this as true and then work from there. And too many people are not accepting that as a reality. Literally, they're talking about cleansing Gaza. And America's like, yep, we're in. Of course. Why would you be shocked at this? Well, the Democrats push back. No, they won't. Democrats aren't pushing back. Well, they're going to push back. No, they're not. If you notice what Democrats are doing, Democrats aren't going, we're going to stop this at all. Trump talked about this 2 days ago, a day or two ago, whatever it was, a couple days ago, about doing this with Gaza. Remember? Democrats had a press conference today, a half hour. Talk about Gaza? No. They talked about Doge. They talked about, Trump. I mean, I'm sorry. They talked about Elon Musk and heading down to, USAID, about that. That's what they talked about. Why? Because that's their money. As I talked about before, that's their money. Democrats don't care about Gazans, never did. And some of you were like, well, they're going to support they never care about the Gazans, never did. That was all a story. I told you that if they wanted to fix it, they could have fixed it decades ago. They didn't want to fix it. They're not fixing it. Democrats aren't sitting there attacking Trump on this at all. Where do you see it someplace? No, not at all. They're worried about their money. They're mad at Doge because that's their money. Gaza, well, whatever. I don't care. That's what's happening now. And people got mad at me when I said, look, we should try to bribe people. I said that, and openly, we should bribe people to get these people to move voluntarily. Remember that? Bribe them to move voluntarily. And people said, that's dumb. No. What, Larry, you're evil. It's their land. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying they're never getting their land. ever. Why? Because the American government, some Americans do, the American government does not care about them. No one around the world cares about them. That's the reason why. I know it's wrong. I know it's terrible. I'm with you. All I'm saying is they're not getting their land back. I don't mean to be cruel when people get mad like it's my fault, like I'm somehow supporting it. I'm trying to get them to not die. And there are too many people, particularly in America, who are still worried about virtue signaling while Gazans die. So I was saying, years ago, I said this, can we bribe them? Can we just give them a bunch of money and say, please voluntarily leave? Because if not, this is going to happen. And this is what I said. I said, this is going to happen. So can I bribe you now so you don't die? Right? Can I bribe you now with money and you voluntarily leave and go someplace else? And I'll bribe them too, because I'm America, I got tons of money. I'm going to print it anyway. I'm going to spend it anyway. So let me spend it on getting you out of the area, which is going to be destroyed, and you're going to be crushed and killed. Can I get you over there instead? That was my entire idea. And people got mad at me. Larry, it's their land. I'm not saying you're wrong, but they got no shot. It's like the Native Americans. They're not getting Manhattan Island back. Never. You can do your virtue signaling and talk about I respect your land, all that kind of horse shit. That's fine, but they're never getting land back, ever. These guys aren't either. And I know it sounds horrible, but I didn't want them to be crushed. That's what I didn't want them to be, was crushed. I wanted less Gazans to die. And now, because now we're forcing them, now they're going to fight back even harder. Now they're going to fight. If we just tried my plan, hey, can we please bribe you guys to leave? Many would have. Some wouldn't have, of course. Some are going to fight. I got it no matter what. But a lot probably said, you know what? Let me go. Yeah, I'll take the cash. I'll go. And if enough would have left, others might have left too. They might have made nice areas in some other countries. We bribe them. They go there. Less Gazans die. Less people stay. Whatever. But Larry, it's unfair that Israel gets the land. Okay. Then I guess you write a book about it and virtue signal. Okay. But I would like the Gazans to not die. That is how practical I am. And now this is happening. Now it's happening. They're now going to bulldoze them right out, cleanse it right out. Boop, gone. Now, maybe not. Maybe this is and I hope, maybe this is some type of amazing, some kind of 3D chess, 4D chess, and Trump's doing something. I hope so. I hope so. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he's got some 4D chess thing going on, and I'm missing it, and it's going to be some great something, maybe. But let me show you how this looked when he was doing this. This is, I'm going to show you if I can real fast. This is him talking with Bibi Netanyahu, right? Who everyone said, and I said it was not true. Everybody said, you heard it, Bibi Netanyahu's done, his career's over. And I said his career's not over. Why? Because people believe that Bibi's fighting for the state of Israel. The Israelis believe that. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And look at this.
Latest pictures from the Oval Office where the Israeli Prime Minister is meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump.
Netanyahu can't stop smiling. This dude, he can't stop smiling. He's trying to stop.
Look at him. We have steps to go yet, as you know. And maybe those steps go forward and maybe they don't. We're dealing with a very complex group of people, situation and people. But we have the right man. We have the right leader of Israel. He's done a great job. And
Netanyahu done a great job. Remember last year when everybody was like, he's finished? And I was like, no, he's not. Remember that? When a lot of you guys teased me. And you were like, no, he's finished. And I was like, no, he's not. He's not finished. He's not. He's winning. Netanyahu's winning. We are going to back Israel no matter what. Doesn't matter. We're going to back him no matter what. Netanyahu, good. All good. Here we go.
We've been friends for a long time. We do a great job also. And I think we have a combination that's very unbeatable, actually.
Look at how happy Netanyahu is. This dude, he cannot look at him. He can't stop smiling. He's like, see, yep, my plan worked. And you know what? He's right. He's right. I can sit here and be mad all I want. Yell and scream, shake my fist. Oh, Netanyahu. Doesn't matter. Absolutely true. Yes. Phil says, Egypt is billions of dollars in debt. Thank you for being a member, Phil. I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to throw cash and tech away. Already done. Here's the problem. You got to throw a whole lot. And this was my plan, by the way. They're about $180 billion in debt, give or take, which for Egypt is a lot, right? For us, that's 150 billion. We laugh at that. For Egypt, that's a lot. They're about $180 billion in debt, give or take in that area, maybe 200 billion by now. My plan was pay off all their debt. What did you say? Pay the debt off. We gave more than that to Ukraine. Pay off the debt and say, look, for every guy, every Palestinian family you take, we're going to give them, I don't know, $5,000 and give you $5,000. We're going to pay for that and give $5,000 for you and every family you take. Done. Go. Take them. The family gets $5,000. The state gets $5,000. Because the problem they have is as they bring these people in, a lot of them are going to still want to go back home. They're going to be freedom fighters. It's true. They're parts of they have worries with the Muslim Brotherhood, things of that sort. It's true. It will be a problem for them. But the more of them who leave and move and stay and are happy in Egypt, only ones who are left over are going to be the guys who want to fight. So you have less people who might get hurt who shouldn't be getting hurt. So you are correct. That was my entire plan. Same thing. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think that was the only way you could actually make this work. I don't see it as any other way. Now we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen in that regard. But I wanted to show you that. And then I want to show you the next one if I could. This one, excuse me. This is him talking about how we're going to own stuff. This is him saying this, if I can find this right. Hold on. This is him talking specifically about what he wants to do in Gaza. And how you do this, I guess you just do what I always say you do, that you just do it. That's all you do. You just do it. This is what he says.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site. And
look at Netanyahu. He cannot. He's like, I am so winning. Look at him. He's like, I am so winning. And he's right. He's not wrong. He is so winning.
Get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And
now, here's the problem then. You guys might say to yourself, women, how does America just take this over? How does this happen? He just says it and no one stops him. That's how it works in practice. You might go, well, how does it work? Is it legal? America goes, I own it. Israel goes, okay. And that's it. That's how it works. You might go, that's not fair. That's not legal. This is the mafia. I've been telling you this forever. This is the mafia. Russia is in no situation right now to do anything. Neither is Iran. Iran can't do anything right now either. They can't. This is the perfect timing for it. I told you that right now, Israel wants to rush because of that. And I told you this last year. The timing is perfect for Israel right now. That's why they're pushing so hard. And you see it. And it is working. Iran is in no position to do anything. Lebanon can't do anything. Syria can't do anything. Russia can't do anything. In theory, China could. In theory, China will not. If anything, China will jump on board. If anything, because China doesn't care about this either. But in theory, they could, theoretically, but they won't. China will go, oh, we making a Riviera? Okay. How do we get in on this one? China will just want to jump on board. They won't care. They'll be totally, because they don't care about Gazans either. The sad part is no one cares about Gazans. I've been saying it. No one cares about Ukrainians. Excuse me, I got my cough back again. No one cares about them either. The idea that we always talk about how we care about these people, none of that's true. It never is. It's always about the cash. Always. It's about the cash. So I brought those two up to you to show you where Trump was and how you might think it's nuts and crazy, but that's actually happening, right? So with that happening, you might say to yourself, okay, wait a minute. That's okay. Because I'm sure the Democrats, they are concerned about this, this idea with Elon Musk taking over and doing all of that and all those things, right? That's sure that's going to be a thing, I'm sure. No. Let me tell you what the Democratic National Committee is doing right now. This is Democratic National Committee right now. What they're focusing on. This is a clip from Breaking Points. This is what they're focusing on. Just so you're clear. No. I have to share this appropriately because I think some of you will really enjoy this one. This is something I really want you to enjoy. This is what they're concerned about.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced.
Gender balanced it.
With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female.
Oh, we're good now.
In order to be gender balanced, we must.
What we gotta do?
We must elect. One male.
By the way, in case you're confused, all the pronouns are right there if you look at them all. The pronouns are right there for you. There's them. They're all there for you in case you was worried. I know. Kitty is concerned about pronouns, so they're there for you, Kitty. Don't be mad. They're right there, okay? So you'll be good. Just don't be worried about that. Right there for you, Kitty.
1 female and 1 person of any gender.
One of any gender.
This is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
Literally what I talked about last week or 2 weeks ago with Dan from the internet about what DEI creates every single time. It creates quotas. Diversity is wonderful. I'm not against diversity at all. I think diversity is awesome. It's great. But you can do it through other procedures and allow people to come up. No, they're focused on that. This was last week. No, this was this week. This was this week. The DNC this week. With all the stuff Trump is doing, that they're yelling that he's, the H-man and he's a this and he's a all these things. This is their priority. They still have this. They're still worried about this. They should be saying, what they should be saying is, I don't care what gender the person is at all. All I care about is, can I fix my party so I can fight against what's happening in the country right now? They don't care. As I keep telling you, that's not what they're worried about. They have learned nothing. They're doubling and tripling down. That doesn't matter. You go, well, Larry, that's just them. That's not, but there's more. There's more. There is more. There are now individuals who are getting mad. They're going to take care of something. They're going to focus on what's important. Okay. All right. Let's figure this out. This is now a Democratic congressman. And she was proud on CNN on what she was saying on what the issues are. This is her. This is from Counterpoints, by the way, just so you're aware where it's from.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come in to say the.
Now, I want to be clear. This was like a couple of days ago. That's all I'm saying. Just a couple of days ago. What are Democrats talking about? Who cares? I don't mean to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean here. Right? But if you're worried about Gaza, like you say you are, why is this your priority on CNN? You got to shut on CNN talking about, I'm awesome, they work 10 times, blah, 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 whatever what it is, right? So again, for the win, Trump, he permanently funded HBCUs. Yes, that's correct. Yes, absolutely. But she doesn't care. Because mediocre white boys, that's her problem. How are you going to win an election, Democrats, when you're attacking mediocre white boys? By the way, mediocre means average. Average white men are a lot of this country, and they vote. I wouldn't attack average white men if I were you, but they don't. She doesn't care. Doesn't care. That's not her issue. Winning doesn't matter. She doesn't care if she's going to win. They don't matter. And they put these people out. The Democratic Party could be, if they wanted to, shutting her down. They could. They have enough power. You've seen them crush people. The Democratic Party could have said, hey, Crockett, shut up. Crockett, shut up. Get back to Dallas. Shut up. Don't get it. If Schumer tells her to shut up, she'll shut up. But he won't. He'll let her go. He'll let her go. Larry, that's just one. Oh, no. The mainstream media is mocking Democrats themselves. Yes, with their response. I'm bringing this up because, again, Trump is talking about boots on the ground in the Middle East, occupying Gaza, controlling land in the Middle East. Oh, I remember the Marines in Lebanon. I remember that in the 80s. He's talking about that. Even Lindsey Graham, who's never, ever seen a war he doesn't love, is like, I don't know. We really want to do this one? Even he's backing out a little bit. I mean, he still loves war, but at least a little bit. But no. And what are Democrats doing? What's their answer? Their answer is, hold on, here we go. This is more. This is their official. This is what they actually said officially. This is all Democrats. Here they go. You'll love this.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist!
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses.
We have days to stop the destruction of our democracy. We have work to do. Tell Elon Musk to take his hands off your money. We don't pledge allegiance to the creepy 22-year-old.
Okay, was this about Gaza? No. This is about war? No. This is about Elon Musk is messing with our money. That's all they care about. Look at all the Democrats there. They're out. Were they out there when Trump won the election? Were they out there when? No, they only got out when Elon Musk messed with their money. That's it. They don't care. They never did care. Oh, my money? Now I care.
Year-olds working for Elon Musk. We pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
And goddamn it, shut down the city! We are at war!
We will win. We will win.
Then even CNN
Yes. Hold on. I'll
and
keep going.
panelists couldn't hold back.
They're all laughing.
Gretchen.
They're laughing.
So,
CNN is laughing at how bad that looks. I mean, terrible. They're not even paying attention. And then today, Hakeem Jeffries, the man who runs the House for the Democrats, he did a 30-minute with a bunch of other people, 30-minute press conference. I want you to the whole thing, a little just a minor chunk of it, just so you can see it. That's it right there, 30 minutes. Had all these people in it. Didn't mention Gaza. Didn't mention it. Nothing. Why? Because he will also back Israel. He backs Israel 100%, no matter what they do. He backs them no matter what they do. That's it.
House Republicans don't appear interested in working for everyday Americans.
Okay.
And solving problems for hardworking American taxpayers. Why? Because they are working for Elon Musk.
Didn't say Israel, did he? Didn't say that, did he? Everyone's fighting Elon Musk now. And I got to tell you, this part to me, I didn't expect this much. I didn't. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting over this. I didn't expect this much. But man, this full court press that Trump is doing is working. It is absolutely throwing Democrats. They are flailing. They don't know how to handle this. Trump is throwing everything, and the Democrats don't know how to bounce back and forth. They have no idea. They are collapsing on this one. And the funny part is, guys who want to win, like James Carville. James Carville is a Democrat. As you probably know, if those of you don't know, look up James Carville. He is a hardcore Democrat. He's the guy who helped with Bill Clinton winning. He cares about Democrats winning. He is yelling at Democrats, like going, why worry about winning elections? Why do you care about this garbage? Stop complaining and whining and go win a goddamn election. He's like, have a plan for something, fix something, and win an election. He's right. He's right. If you're a Democrat, you should be mad right now. You should be saying, why aren't they listening to Carville? They're not. Democrats have no answer, no plan, no nothing. Democrats across the country are like Republicans in New York State. In New York State, Republicans have no answers. They just yell and scream at each other. No answers. They don't ever plan on winning. They know they can't win. They ignore. Right? They ignore. Now, Democrats nationwide, same thing. No answers, no plan, just insult, 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 insult. And now she's insulting average white guys who vote. Why are you insulting them? And they're insulting everyone who likes Elon Musk, and they're saying nothing about the fact that we might be sending troops into Gaza. That's fine. Whatevs. Drive me crazy. All right, let me grab a couple of these if I could. Lazy Clown, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know it may not matter to the LP platform, but I see this American territory Gaza idea as a reminiscent to post WW2 Japan and Europe Reconstruction. I'm in the LP platform. I don't care about the LP platform at all. The Libertarian Party shouldn't have a platform. The LP National should not have a platform at all. The LP National should just be the preamble and then let individual candidates create the platform. LP should have a platform. It's a colossal waste of time, money, and energy. It just turns people off. It has no value whatsoever. The Republicans don't have a platform. Why do we? Republican Party doesn't have a platform. It doesn't have one. I'm not joking. Why do we have a platform? Get rid of it. Makes no sense. Dumb to have. We should have ended it a long time ago. It's just for virtual signaling. The LP did it, and the LP made a resolution against Gaza. Who gives a shit? Nobody's paying attention. Another colossal waste of time. LP should focus on one thing and one thing only, and that is ballot access. Everything else, waste of time. So I don't care if it's good or bad for the LP platform. We shouldn't have one anyway. It makes no sense. It does nothing. All it does is make things bad. It's not helpful at all. All right. But I see this American territory Gaza idea as reminiscent to post-World War II Japan and Europe and Reconstruction. I could see that, but here's the problem, right? I get your point. We didn't tell the Germans they had to leave Germany and we're going to rebuild Germany. We didn't tell the Japanese they had to, leave Japan and then rebuild Japan. If you're saying you want to rebuild Gaza and leave the Gazans in, okay, I could see that. This is Gazans leave and we rebuild Gaza and we put hotels there. Not the same. If that makes any sense, right? If you're telling me we want to rebuild it for the Gazans and they're going to stay and we're going to have a Gazan state, like we gave the Germans their own government back, right? They have their own government. Japan has its own government. I mean, we wrote their constitution, but still, we still gave them a constitution. They have one, right? Are we going to do it with Gaza now? No. So I would buy that if it was, we're going to leave the Gazans there and then give them a government. But then I could buy it. I could. Otherwise, I don't see it. I don't see that happening right now. It's hard for me to imagine that now. So I appreciate that. By the way, guys, he just super chatted me. If you want to, of course, you can always super chat me here on YouTube, either Larry Sharpe YouTube or on Sharpe YouTube. You can always super chat me if you want to. If you are watching on this now on Larry Sharpe, that means it's recorded because it goes live on Sharpe Way. It gets restreamed on Larry Sharpe. But you can also like button no matter what. No matter what, click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. Please do that. If you have not shared this or reposted this now, please do so. Put it into Twitter or share it into a Facebook group, whatever the case may be. If you have not subscribed on YouTube yet, please do so. Subscribe and also click the all notifications when you do so. It does matter. Please follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. And you can either super chat me or you can rant me on Rumble if you like. And the best part is, if you really want to help out, you can become a member. Click a join button, $49 per month to join. Keeps me doing more of this and less working. Or you can go on Rumble if you want to and click subscribe during the live. And again, that helps me out. That's how you become a member and we keep rocking and rolling. So thank you for that. Excuse me, I'm still getting over this. So let me keep going down this road. I'm going to grab a couple of, if I can, a couple of member pieces, if I can, a couple of member chats. Okay. Johnson says, glad you're feeling a bit better, Larry. Miss you. Thank you, my friend. I'm trying my best to get back in action. AC says, yep. I think you mean yep when I said America is going to back Israel. Yes, it is clear. We just keep backing Israel, right? And one of the reasons why people often ask me, why do we do this? Excuse me, several reasons. Number one is the military-industrial complex. That's the biggest thing. The military-industrial complex is helped massively by Israel in several ways. One, intel. Two, patents. And three, they buy and sell stuff. And because of the problems in the Middle East, people buy a lot of our stuff. So it really is helpful for us. So that's one major reason. The second reason is the PACs are huge. The money is huge, right? The lobbyists are huge here. A lot of people make a lot of money off it. Hakeem Jeffries makes tons of money off the Israeli lobby. I mean, he doesn't even play it. He literally called Israel New York City's sixth borough. I'm not joking. He called Israel New York City's sixth borough. He is 100% in their pocket. It's not even close. 100%. He is in their pocket. Absolutely. Phil says Doge is on fire. Yes, Doge is attacking. Is all over the place. And I'm not mad at Doge for this. I'm not. The Democrats are mad at Doge. I'm not mad. I'm not. Am I upset that we may be putting troops on the ground in Gaza? Yes. Yes. I don't want it to happen. But it doesn't matter again, Gary Johnson is not going to be president of the United States. I have accepted that as true. That's done deal. I have to just get over that, and I'm over it. I'm over that. Anyone else thinking that America is not going to back Israel, whatever they do? Time for you to get over that. I'm not happy about it. I've accepted it. Time for you to accept that. We are going to back them no matter what. It does not matter what they do. It is irrelevant what they do. We're going to be like, okay, doesn't matter. We will back them no matter what. So Michael says Gaza is a demolition zone. True. It is a terrible spot. I agree. Yes. It's a problem. Absolutely. So excuse me. We have to find an answer. I don't like us having boots on the ground there. I don't like it at all. All I can imagine is if we put boots on the ground in Gaza, there's going to be violence if that happens. And if that happens, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. There's no way this ends well. I mean, look, it was not going to end well anyway, but it's going to end worse, right? It's going to end worse. It drives me absolutely crazy. So the AC says, did you see the other day work from just kind of matter of fact stated that there's 1 billion dead? I don't know. Awesomeness conflict. I'm not sure what do you mean 500,000 dead? I'm not sure where you are with this, AC. I think you mean 500,000 dead. Yeah. Phil says, yeah. AC 500,000. Yeah. Either way, yeah. There's a bunch of, look, if there were 10,000 dead, that would be too much. But I think we know there's at least 50,000 dead. Who knows? 100,000 dead. Who knows how many, right? I mean, there's too many dead. And I don't want it to be worse. And again, I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just keep saying it as people got mad at me. They were mad at me when I said this years ago. We have to bribe Jordan and Egypt to take the Gazans. We have to bribe the Gazans to voluntarily leave. Excuse me. I've been saying that for years, and people said, oh, you don't understand. You're talking about ethnically cleansing. No, I'm talking about voluntarily getting them to move, bribing them to move and letting many move. As they move, creating, areas in other countries that they feel safe that they can migrate to, so that they'll begin to migrate away because they know this land is going to go. They're not getting the land back. I know it's terrible. I know. I'm not saying I like it. But if not, then this happens. Larry, it's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair. I never said it was fair. I'm saying it's real. It's true. It's going to happen. And you can get mad at me and call me whatever you want to call me while you virtue signal and say, I'm going to virtue signal. That's me. Let them all die while I feel good about myself. You can call me names. I'd rather them not die. How about they not die and you call me names? It's fine. I accept that. But that's not happening. Now you call me names and they still die. Lose, lose. Lose, lose. Mike says he wants to empty Gaza, complete rebuild, including water, sewer, etc., then resettle people of Gaza back in Gaza, supposedly with no cash from America or boots on the ground. That would be magical. Mike, I hope that'd be great. Oh my God. Is that the plan? Shit, if that's the plan, I'm in. I have no idea how you do that, but if he's got magic powers and he can just make, I'm in. That will be amazing. If that's the actual, I don't know how that's the plan, but if that's the plan, yes, Mike, that's the plan. Let's do that. Let's empty Gaza, rebuild the entire thing, settle everybody back in. America doesn't pay anything and has no boots on the ground. That's the best plan I ever heard. Yes. And as soon as he gets his magic powers from that, he then can, I don't know, make us have no debt. I don't know. Then maybe Pete will be happy, I guess. All right, I'm looking over at Rumble. A Liberty Lady for $1. Glad you're feeling better. Definitely went through live withdrawal. Oh, thank you. Your Rumble has really grown over the past week. We'll be at 400 in no time. Oh, people are growing on Rumble. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys coming over to Rumble and saying hi. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry. I still have a little bit of that cold. I'm like at the tail end of it. I'm at the tail end of it. I'll be done probably like a day or two. At the tail end of it. I slept for like 12 hours for like 2 days in a row. So, yes. So, anyway, I hope that plan, Mike, is the plan. That sounds like an amazing plan. That sounds like an amazing plan. All right. Over on Facebook, Roy says, we rebuilt Germany and Japan, who went from our worst enemies to our best friends. No reason the far smaller Gaza cannot be rebuilt. I agree, Roy, but that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is they all got to go, and he's going to make it a resort. If it is that way, like what Mike said, okay. I don't know how you do that, but if he's got some magic plan, I'm in. That will be amazing. I hope you can. I hope you can. I cannot see that happening. I cannot see it happening. But look, I hope I'm wrong. I hope next year, come back, you guys all point your finger at me and go, Larry, you were wrong on this one. Look at you, ha, ha, ha. And I will take it. But as you know, I do a whole lot of I told you so. A whole lot. Like a lot of I told you so. So, yeah, I don't know. Generally speaking, that's not how that works. So, thank you for the $20 to GoFX, the super chat. It's heartbreaking that the stories of American exceptionalism I was told as a child were all BS. Seems no different than any other country trying to get what it can. Well, I'm not sure if it's all BS. What I mean by that is, generally speaking, if you take it relatively, and that's the key, relatively, America has been far better than most countries, relatively. We've still been bad. Don't get me wrong. All countries have their own interests. When it comes to colonization, when it comes to our own country, we have, of course, have devastated Native Americans, of course, right? But to be forward, most countries have devastated their whole world in that regard, right? The Han Chinese have been cruel to ethnic minorities. The Japanese are not native to their land. People don't know that, but the Japanese are actually came from Korea. The Ainu are the native Japanese. We have Native Americans. The Japanese had Ainu. They slaughtered them as they came aboard. So that's like everybody else, right? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's how it is, right? They slaughtered their native populations. We slaughtered ours. It's what we do, right? I guess it's what we do. That's how nation building worked. So that's what we just did. So as that happened, we're the same. But when it comes to colonialism, we weren't as bad. Not saying we were good, but we weren't as bad. So I'm not sure it's all BS, but we were far better than the Brits were. We were far better than the Spanish were. The Spanish were cruel as hell, right? So we were far better than most. Belgians, Germans. Oh my God, Germans were terrible in East Africa. So when it comes to colonialism, we were better than most, to be forward with you, right? We weren't as bad as the rest. So on a relative scale, I would say we aren't that bad. Again, relative scale. But we're still colonizers, but just not as bad. And probably if you look back at it, even when we went to war, our wars, again, relative scale, We weren't about conquest. We weren't about grabbing land grabs anywhere near like other countries were. Nowhere near as bad. Nowhere near as bad. So I don't think we're no different. We are better or less bad. I'm not sure which way you want to put that. Maybe less bad. So I do want to give us some good stuff, I guess. Kitty said BB seems caught off guard a bit because BB just got a gift. Trump just gave him a gift. He said, "Hey, surprise, his gift." And BB's like, "Damn, I didn't think that was going to happen." Yeah, he was happy as can be. Yes. Search and Destroy says we can have forts and Navy bases there. Well, the funny part is, this is the part that I think is amazing, because again, when we have naval bases there, the Russians do too, right? Right above, right in Lebanon, right? In Syria. So they have it in Syria, and we'd have it in Gaza. So yes, right there. There we go. A says, why would Russia care? I'm not sure they would, right? But they're in no position, is my point. It doesn't matter if they care. I'm not sure they might care in theory just to slow us down or stop us in some way, or to maybe fund people who would fight us, right? In theory. So like how Iran would fund proxies to fight us. Iran really can't do much funding right now. Russia could fund proxies to fight us, to slow us down, like they were happy to do so in Afghanistan and places like that. So they might do that to slow us down. They might, just for revenge, AC, as we're funding the Ukrainians who are killing Russians, they would fund proxies to kill us. So that's why they would, but they're not in a position to right now, right? They have their hands full in Ukraine, absolutely full. If they didn't have their hands full in Ukraine, they would have been able to save Syria. If that makes any sense, right? If they didn't have their hands full in Ukraine, they would have saved Syria. Once that happens, that's why Trump can say what he says, right? Well, why didn't Trump bring this up earlier? Right? Why didn't he bring this up earlier? All right. The reason why he didn't bring this up earlier is because he didn't know if he was in the right spot. Now he knows. Russia, with Syria collapsing, the world knows Russia has his hands full with Ukraine. China doesn't care. And if anything, they would jump on board, right? China's like, oh, we can make money. How do we get in on this? Right? That's what they would care about. So Iran can't, Russia can't. Gazans have nobody. And I know it sounds horrible. I don't mean, I feel so bad saying it, because the Gazans don't deserve this, right? They didn't do anything to deserve this. I'm just trying to be clear. So I don't know. Kitty says, China equals opportunism. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. Absolutely. Phil says all about the Benjamins. Yes. Correct. You could say that our relationship with Israel is all about the Benjamins. It's true. All of the Benjamins, every one of them. That is 100% accurate. Nicely done. I do like that. Absolutely. So Search and Destroy says, people keep dying, so having an American presence in a region with military bases might be the only way to cool down the whole region. Maybe. The thought process was that if we had that in Lebanon, that would work in Lebanon. It did not work. What wound up happening is those bases became targets. Now, is it possible that this could be different? Maybe, but I don't know why would we think that, right? That's my issue. I don't know why we think that. What would make you think that this would be different? My gut says there'll just be more targets. Now, advantage is that they won't have as much funding, right? The Chinese aren't going to directly fund, I don't think at least, they would directly fund any type of units that would attack us there. They'd rather jump on board and make some cash off the bases or off the ports or off the Riviera. That's what I think. The Russians don't have the cash for it right now, and the Iranians don't have the cash for it. Now, if the Ukrainian war ends, that changes everything. That changes everything, right? The Ukrainian war ends, all those mercenaries got to have some place to go. And if we don't have another war fighting them somewhere else, they're going to the Middle East. They all got money to make. They all got cash to make. You guarantee that's going to happen. So that's the only issue. So Trump has to keep this going and keep the Ukraine war going long enough. And this is his balancing act. And I know it sounds horrible, I know you're saying, Larry, you talk about people dying. I know. I wish I'm not making this up. This is just what's going on, right? Think about it. Unless they reboot the war in Syria, which to me makes the most sense for America to reboot the war in Syria, so that those guys can go fight in Syria instead and stay in a perpetual civil war in Syria for the next 10 years, right? They might head into Gaza or Ukraine, or Israel, someplace like that. They could. So yes, that's an issue. Lazy Clown, thank you for the $2. What is China's interest in Gaza or the Middle East? Only cash, right? The problem is they have the Belt and Road Initiative. And what Trump has done well is he threatened Panama, and Panama bailed on a Belt and Road Initiative, right? If those of you remember, I'm going to control Panama, control whatever. And the Panamanians said, no, we're going to push the Chinese out. The Mexicans have pushed away them also. So the people are bailing on the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. The Africans are doing it too, because the Africans can't afford to pay what the Chinese want them to pay. So they're just defaulting on loans and going, we're not going to pay. And the Chinese go, oh, great. Well, then we own this land. And they go, no, you don't. Well, yeah, no, we have a deal that says we own this land once you don't pay. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that deal. No, you have to give us the deal. No, we're not gonna, because we just passed the law that says you don't matter. I'm not joking. They do shit like that. And Chinese go, oh, well, that sucks. And the Africans go, yeah, you don't have the CIA like the Americans do, so you're not gonna get rid of us. And you don't have military, you won't bomb us, so you don't have anything. You can't do this. So bye. That's what's happening to the Chinese right now. So they're looking for other ways to make cash, right? Africans don't do that to Americans, because Americans will have the CIA get rid of their people, or will bomb them, or will invade. They know that when you mess with Americans, and I'm not proud of this, I'm just saying, when it comes to gunboat diplomacy, Americans made that up. Like, we did that. That's us. That's our thing. Gunboat diplomacy is American. We made that up with Admiral Perry, 1850, whatever it was, 1857, I think, when he went into, Tokyo Bay. We made that gunboat diplomacy up. We own it. That's us. The Chinese thought, we can do it too. Stop. That's our thing. We got that down. So we know how to do that. They don't. So Africans are like, okay, no. They either don't make deals with us, or they do our deals, or they don't make the deal, because they know that. Ask Gaddafi how that works. Ask Saddam Hussein how that works. Oh, you can't, can you? Yeah. That's getting we play. So their interest would only be in making cash. That'd be their interest. And if it's a deal with Americans, well, they get to use American gunboat diplomacy and get paid. It's the best of both worlds for them. They get the cash without having to be the gunboat guy. We do that. So hope that makes sense. That's how that would work. So, all righty. Dave says they're missing one gender. They're missing it. They don't have that one. Well, maybe there might be rules on gender. They got the special rules up there, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure how this thing works. So yes. If I get it right, Bix Quote, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Too much focus on DEI and worried about the other three agencies. Yes, look, I say it all the time. I'm not against diversity. Diversity is a great thing. I agree. Diversity is a good thing. But when you're getting your butt kicked, and now we're coming to a point, and look, I know a lot of you are very happy about Trump being president. I know you are. Okay. It doesn't mean I want one party rule, right? That's still not a good thing, right? You want to have someone to push back against. I have one party rule in New York State, and it's just Democrats. It's not good. The Republican Party in my state is completely broken. That doesn't really exist. And you go to Nebraska, the opposite's true. Go to Utah, the opposite's true, right? I don't want America to be that way. I don't want a one-party rule. This is not a good thing. And right now, Democrats are in trouble. Like, they're really in trouble. Really in trouble. So that's what I'm saying. So take your DEI, throw it away, rebuild your party with whoever is good. If making the Democratic Party be an actual fighting force again means you only have to have, I don't know, Hispanic men and that's it, then you become a part of Hispanic men. I don't care. But what about women? Don't care. What about black people? I don't care. Get the right people who can fight this damn fight, whoever that is. And if it's whatever, what the Crocus man, if it happens to be mediocre white boys, what she said, get them. I don't care. Get whoever it takes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So yes. All right. Social Story says, we're putting bases there. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, you're not wrong. Phil gets it. We need better Democrats. Yes. Accurate. Kitty says, let diversity happen fairly and naturally. Please, love of God. I say it again too. And look, you might think I'm full of it. I got data. 2018, when I ran my campaign, there were 5 campaigns being run at the same time. It was me, Cuomo, me, the Republican and Democrat, the Green Party, and the Sam Party. So 5 parties were running. Yeah, 5 parties were running. And city and state did a research on all of the campaign teams for diversity because they want to make sure we weren't all being racist, right? I'm not joking. Actually happened. If you check if you want to, it's actually a real thing. And who had the most diverse staff? I did. I had no quotas. I let it happen naturally. I picked the best people knowing that I had an open door policy. I didn't care. Came on board. I had trans people. I'm not making it up. I had trans people on my staff. I didn't care. All good. I had felons. Didn't care. People got mad at me. You got felons in your staff? Yes. Yeah. I didn't care. I had the most diverse staff. I did not care. So I agree. Let it happen naturally, right? Let it happen naturally. It's all good. So, all righty. The AC says they're not paid to win. Accurate. 100% accurate. So and that's the very important piece. Their money comes whether they win or not. That's the issue. Their money comes whether they win or not. It doesn't matter. So yes. All right. Sorry. I do apologize having the cough. I'm getting rid of my cough slowly but surely. I'm getting rid of that cough slowly but surely. It'll be gone in a couple of days. That's for it will be. So yes. All right. Let's see if I can grab this one. I do want to, if I can. Roy says inclusion from Facebook. Inclusion trumps diversity. Diversity names favored or disfavored groups, which change. White people were favored for centuries. Now it's changing. But we all benefit from inclusion, including as many people as possible. Let everyone compete. Agreed. Yeah. I don't know if that was to me or not, but yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think it's wonderful. Again, not against diversity. Yes. But when things are collapsing, and if you can see things are collapsing in Democrats right now, I wouldn't focus on that. That'd be my low on my, that would be low on my priorities, right? They're still making, as you can see, they've put it into their bylaws. They put it in the rule. They put a quota system into their bylaws. You're broken. You should not put a quota system into your bylaws, particularly when you got, again, I'm going to say this again. They got their ass kicked last year. The Democrats got their ass kicked last year. And how the Iran is going, well, Trump didn't win the majority vote. That's their response. But he beat Harris. Who cares? Who cares? He got more votes than Harris did. Popular vote, more votes than her. And he got more votes in the Electoral College. Both. And he's a 34-time convicted felon and twice impeached. And you called him Hitler. I don't know. You might make some changes. People picked Hitler over your person. The last thing I'd be worried about is whether I have a gender-balanced DNC. Not be concerned at all. That's all I'm saying. So, Ryan, thank you for the $5. One party rule in state is awful. You're better off owning a video rental store than being a Democrat in Missouri. Yes. Thank you, Ryan. Yes. It's the same here in New York. It's the opposite. One party rule is garbage. I don't want our country to be that either. Right? I don't want our country to become that either. It's not good. It starts off good. It does. It often, because things get done. And I like that idea. The concept of it is wonderful. It feels good. Yes, stuff's getting done. Then before you notice, oh, we just run everything and shut up. That's how it ends. And you know that in Missouri, that's what Republicans. I know here in New York, it's with New York, it's with Democrats, right? In New York, they literally say, conservatives leave. We don't care about you. Leave my state. I don't care. Kathy Hochul unless somebody, I don't know who, but unless somebody run against her, that might be an independent who might have some kind of chance, just some random guy. Unless that happens, she's going to win again. There's like, no way she's a terrible governor. She's a terrible governor. No way people keep leaving. They keep leaving. But she's going to win again. Why? Because who's going to beat her? Republicans have no chance. And they're going to say they have a chance. They always say it. They don't. They have no chance. Republicans have no chance. And no Democrat would dare challenge her realistically. Democrat will challenge her for only one reason, to gain popularity so that Democrat can run for Senate. That's what they'll do. Gain popularity, run for Senate, win the Senate seat. That's it. Otherwise, no, not going to happen. Someone's going to hope to eventually get rid of Chuck Schumer when he goes away, eventually. So, yeah. Excuse me. Phil, thank you for $2. Is Gaza like a Boer War concentration camp? Ooh, interesting. You know, if it became that, and this is the hardest part to actually have to accept, Phil, if it became that, we would still accept it. I don't think it's there yet. No, I don't think we're there yet. And that's because the people haven't they haven't come back yet to kind of decide where they're going to be yet. But it could become that. There's a chance it becomes that. Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. That's terrible. That's bad, Phil. I don't want that to be true. I hope you're wrong. But yeah, I hope you're wrong. Yes. Chloe says, Larry, you're trying to call for a hairball. I am. I still have some phlegm left. I do. I know it's nasty. I know. I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah, it's true. Yes. The AC says they are corrupt, feckless, and infiltrated. Infiltrated. I'm not sure I buy that one. I think that's them. That's the infiltration. I get the first two. Infiltrated. That's kind of who they are. That's kind of who they are. I think it's them. Like, that's them. So yes, absolutely. So, all righty. Ryan says, no beer for Larry. Vitamin C is the way to go for your illness. I don't drink, so there'll be no beer for me. I am taking some vitamin C. I'm almost out of this. I'm almost out of it. Yes, I'm almost out of this. I'm on my way out of it, slowly but surely. So, all right. Mike Voss in the house. He says, if Hamas rejects this, there is zero reason for the U.S. to ever give another dollar to Gaza, as it's them preferring terror, and we have no reason to support or help that. I'm not sure I buy this, right? And the reason why I say it is the entire reason why they exist, Mike. And again, I'm not judging yes or judging good or bad on them. I'm not making a judgment on this, but I'm saying they exist because they believe this is their land and they will stand it until they die. That's what they believe. So I never expected the hardcore fighters to leave. I didn't. My assumption always was, and I think it's still true, that the vast majority of Gazans don't necessarily believe in Hamas, that should be their ruler. The vast majority of Gazans, while I'm sure they love their land, but they'd rather have a safe and happy life. My assumption, I could be wrong. That's my assumption. And if we actually gave them the opportunity to leave, a lot of them would leave. If there was 2 million Gazans or whatever the number is, say 500,000 left. And I'm talking years ago. I was talking about this years ago. So say 500,000 left, right? And went to whatever, Jordan or Egypt, and we bribed them. 500,000 left. Well, we would know who's left over, right? We would know who's left over. And those people who start thinking, wait a minute, this is getting nasty, it's getting bad, they now have a place to go. There would be a place, there'd be a community for them to go to if they didn't want to be here. That could happen. That hasn't happened. So a lot of them are going to be saying, no, we'll stay to the end. We'll stay to the end. I don't know. I don't know how we deal with this issue right now. It's nothing but bad. I could see them saying, no, we'll just fight to the death, which is terrible, because if we start going in there, then they're going to attack us, right? And they're going to hope they can raise money attacking us. Their hope would be, this would be their hope, Mike. Their hope would be, if we actually put boots on the ground there, I hope we don't. I hope this is just talk from Trump. I hope it's some 40 chess stuff I'm not seeing. I hope it is. I hope it is. If we put boots on the ground there, they're going to try to get us to fight harder to cause casualties and hope that people or groups like Russia after the war's over, like Iran, are going to be able to say, you know what? It's worth throwing some dollars in there because that'll get Americans. That'll bog them down. That will slow them down. That's their hope. Now, will it work? I don't know, right? I'm not sure if it will work, but that would be their hope. Hey, we'll do so much damage to the Americans here. The Russians will be like, hey, okay, you did so. You put all that money into Ukraine to fight us. We're going to throw money into Gaza now. Once Ukraine war's over, right? That would be their hope. Will it work? Maybe. I mean, the Russians, if the Russians get what they want in Ukraine, and at the moment it looks good for them, we'll see if that still keeps going, but at the moment that looks good for them, right? If they get what they want out of Ukraine and it looks good and they get what they want, they're going to have literally tens of thousands of Russians and even Ukrainians who are going to be trained, looking for work, and ready to go, start training some people, and they'll head down there. They'll head to Syria, they'll head to Lebanon, they'll head into Gaza. We know this will happen. We know this will happen. And do I want Ukrainian and Russians training Gazans how to fight Americans? I don't want that. I hope you don't. I don't want that. So, yeah. All right. Paula says, Larry, I'm not over that you're not governor of New York. I know. Eventually, it may happen. Who knows? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we will. So, yes. All righty. Michael's going to say, also, it's U.S. troops only if U.S. rebuilds the region to protect U.S. at the time. It's not an invasion, as you and some media apply. There's absolutely no other nonviolent offer on the table. That's not true. There are other offers. The problem is who's going to enforce them. That's the issue. There's offers. Do you think Halliburton hasn't already decided how they're going to rebuild this? Come on now. Of course there's offers on the table. Of course there are. The question is who's going to support it, right? I agree with you on that. Who's going to support it? I don't know who is, right? The assumption would be you'd have the IDF there, which seems like a disaster to me, right? The IDF does not want to be there, right? And again, why would the IDF not want to be there? Many reasons. One, the IDF already is seen as just terrible by the Hamas, by the Gazans in general already. Plus, the IDF is a reserve force. The Israelis have a small country. They cannot put their reserve force guarding Gaza for X number of years. Their force goes back into the workforce to make money for Israel, right? They don't have a large standing army. So they'd rather have like the UN or NATO or some standing army to be there. That's what they, and America has a large standing army. So they'd rather have Americans there. Absolutely. That's better for the Israelis to have Americans there instead. I just want Americans getting killed. That's my issue. I just don't want Americans getting killed. That is my issue. So Roy says Gazans are of Egyptian and Jordanian descent. Yes, most of them are actually Egyptian descent. That's true. Most are of Egyptian descent. That's true. Which is why I wanted them to voluntarily go. I just keep, it's frustrating, Roy. It's frustrating that they don't want to fix this. They don't want to fix this. So, yeah, that is my worry. It is frustrating. They don't want to. I wish they wanted to fix this, and they just don't. So, John says, President Trump often says things just to get a reaction. I'm wondering if this is one of those times. We'll see. We will have to see how countries like Egypt and Jordan react to his plan. Will be a scream or actually offer their own plan. Again, if Jordan and Egypt actually kowtow and go, we'll take people, right? I'm hoping that's the case, John. I don't know if it is. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping this is some 3D chess thing that I'm not seeing. Something like that. I'm hoping it is. I don't know if it is, but I hope it is. That is my hope. So maybe. So yes. All righty. Excuse me. Janelle, how are you, my dear? She says, the way we are going, we're becoming worse. I feel like you're right. I don't want you to be right, but I feel like you are right. I wanted us to be backing off more. I'm hoping we're back. I don't know if Trump has talked about not going down this road, right? He doesn't want to go down this road. I hope he meant it. You never know. I hope he meant it. I do. Joel says, kinder, gentler colonizers. Yes, I guess that sounds horrible, doesn't it? But yes, absolutely. It's true. We aren't. It's relative. It's not as bad. That's what I will say. It's still colonizing. But if you had a choice of being colonized by Americans or by Spaniards, and you were like, those are only two choices, one or the other. You're getting colonized. You'd be like, I'll take Americans. This sucks, but I'll take Americans. That's what you would. That's the difference, is what I'm saying. So yeah, if you had a choice, or colonized by the Japanese or by Americans, you'd take Americans. Ask the Filipinos. They would agree with that. The Filipinos would agree with that 100%. They're like, yeah, we'll take you. Okay. We only got two, again, if you only got two choices, right? The Germans or the Americans. Ask East Africans. We take Americans. So that's all I'm saying. Still colonizing, but yes. Ryan, thank you for the $5. Larry, I thought IDF was more like special forces, like our Navy SEALs, Marines, Marine Recon, etc. Maybe my info got cross-threaded. No, the standing army of the IDF is small and it's much more elite. They have some elite forces, but whenever they go to war, they bring all the reservists up. So when they go to war, they bring up almost sometimes 300,000 reservists. So most of the IDF is reserve force. If that makes any sense. They don't have a large standing army. They have some special forces. They do. They have some specialized forces. And in fact, the Mossad is one of the best forces when it comes to, specialized forces like that. Some of the best in the world, right? Without quite, if not, they're definitely top 5, if not top, but they're some of the best in the world. Their actual ground forces, though, most of the IDF is reserve forces. People don't know that. Where we as Americans, we have a very large relative, right? We have about 2 million, is that about right? I think about 2 million people in our standing army. Standing forces to include, I think, about 200,000, 300,000 Marine Corps, about 1 million in the Army, and the rest Air Force, Navy, in that area, something like that. So we have a large standing force of people who are trained, they can go right away. Israeli forces are small, standing, large reserve force. So they bring them up from reserves. They have mandatory service. So there are some exceptions, obviously. Like I think some of the Orthodox Jews don't have to do service. There's some rule. They have some rules to exceptions who don't have to do service. But otherwise, you have mandatory service in Israel, and they pull you up for the fight, and then they send you back to that. There's only 9 million Jews, I think, 9 million Israelis. They're only 9 million Israel. So no, they have special forces, but no, most of the IDF is reserve when they go to war. Hope that answers your question. So, alrighty. Case John says, just became a member yesterday. The second person I've given any money to in over 2 years. 2 decades. Thank you. The first was RFK last year. So glad I found your channel. You and everyone are helping me to stay sane. Thank you, Case John. I appreciate that. Look, guys, the more you join on board, the better. The reality of it is there are very few shows like this where it's as interactive as this is. We talk back and forth and chat back and forth. If you like that, then please do me a favor. Click the button known as like, Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please click that button. If you have not shared this or reposted it, please do so. Every bit counts. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already, or follow me on Facebook, on X, and Rumble. All of those are good to do. Please select all notifications when you do so. And you can super chat me if you want to, as you've seen people super chat, or you can rant me on Rumble. You see that also. Both of those are great. And membership, I love it. $49 per month. Click that join button. The more that happens, the less I have to work, the more I can do this. I try to do several shows a week to the best of my ability. I try to come on at 7 whenever I can. I can always make it. But I try to make 7 whenever I can. And I try to do every day if I can. I can always make it. But I try to, because I have to work during the day. I still have to pay my own bills, as you all have to also. So if you can do that, please do so. You can also become a member on Rumble if you want to by clicking that subscribe button only during the live. But no matter what, free button known as like. Click it. It does matter. Every little bit counts. So please do that if you can. So, yes. Alrighty. Let me see if I can go down this road a bit more. All right. Phil says, the saddest part of USAID was how many coups we did with it. It was a poison pill where developing countries would get money and we would fund democracy efforts and journalism. This part is the funny part. You're right, Phil. That it's done all types of bad things. And we're worried about that. Sorry, Democrats now are worried about that more than they're worried about overseas wars. Why? Again, why? Because money. Because money. They funded money through this. That's what they're getting paid for. That's how they're getting paid, right? And that's they care about their money, and that's the issue that always drives me nuts. They care about their money. So, yes. All righty. Let me see if I can grab some of these if I can. I'll keep going down these roads. All right. Mike says, if they accept the U.S. deal, regions stabilize as quality of life maximizes, and the need for terror diminishes. U.S. economy benefits, same time win-win. I don't know, man. I see where you're going with that. But I'm not sure I buy, because look, the youngsters who are fighting in Hamas, they don't see any hope. And when you don't see hope, you don't care about that. Stability doesn't happen. I mean, it will take years to change this. I mean, years. I'm not sure it's true. Look, I hope you're right. Again, I'm going to be clear. I don't want this to be a disaster. I don't at all. It's hard for me to see it. So yes. Phil says, ask the Japanese, the Americans and Soviets. Yep. Thank you. Same thing, right? So I know you're joking, Joel, when you say kinder, gentler. Yes, but it's true. It's true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So yes. All righty. Let me grab this one. Roy says the IDF is also not only Jewish. Also true. It's also Arab. You're right. More Arabs living in Israel than live in Gaza. They aren't required, but many do serve in IDF. Oh, is that right? I didn't know Arabs weren't required to serve in the IDF. I did not realize that. I didn't realize that. I knew they had exceptions. I knew that. I didn't know what the exceptions were, but Israel does not. Israel has universal service, but there are exceptions. I didn't remember what those exceptions were. I didn't know that Arabs were accepted. I did know that some. I don't know which sects, but there are some Jewish sects that are Orthodox that don't have to serve. I know that's some rule of law. I don't remember which ones there are. There were some at that. There were some there. So, yeah, I don't remember. So, Greg says, Chuck Holton has some really good takes on the issue about what Trump says about Gaza. Have you spoken with him before? I haven't. Look, again, I hope this works. I really do. If you've seen what I've talked about in the past, what I want to have is Gazans not die. I've said this more than a million times, and I'll keep saying it. I want Gazans to not die and have a government that they can live under. I don't care where that is. I don't care how. I don't care if it's 1-state solution, 2-state solution, 9-state solution. I don't care. Those things don't matter to me at all. Whatever works, works. If it's in Gaza, if it's in Lebanon, if it's in Syria, if it's in Jordan, if it's in Egypt, I don't care, as long as they have a government. And I want Israel to have safe borders. If Israel has safe borders and Gazans have a government, Larry Sharpe is happy. I don't care how that works. It doesn't matter what they do. I don't care what number solution it is. All that doesn't matter to me. Now, the problem is all those details matter to a lot of people there. I know they do. I'm trying to make it happen to the best of my ability, which I think voluntarily pay people to leave. And those who can leave will leave. Hopefully they'll create communities that people will love, and they'll go to those communities and they'll settle in those communities. And then Israel will have safe borders, and the Gazans will have a life they can live, and their kids can grow, and they have a government that can survive. That's all I want. That's what I'm trying to achieve. And obviously I'm fooling myself. Because that's not working. That's clearly not happening. I wish it was, but it's just not happening. So yeah. Excuse me. IC says the Hasidics don't have to serve. Oh, is that right? Is it Hasidics? There we go. I didn't know that. I knew there was a sect that didn't have to serve, or there were certain sects. So there we go. That's the ones. Perfect. Thank you for that, IC. I did not know that. So Garrett, thank you so much. 10 Sharpe memberships, guys. There's 10. If you don't have one, grab one. It does matter. Every little bit counts. Garrett, again, jumping on board. I appreciate it. It is very good. Absolutely. I do appreciate it. So NWX9 says ethnic cleansing. This is what may start happening, and I don't want it to. Right? I would much rather people move voluntarily than be forced out. And that is my worry. My worry is they'll be forced out. My worry is you're right. I hope you're wrong. I would like people to move voluntarily, right? That's what I want. I would rather have that happen if I have a choice. The sad part is they may just be forced to move out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't want it to happen. And I think if we can have a good negotiation, and I think to Mike's point, Mike Gloss's point, if they accept it and actually move out, at least while it gets rebuilt or whatever, and maybe there's some way they can come back or repatriate or something, I think there's a possibility that it could work. I'm always worried this is not going to go well. I am, because the problem is the Iranians don't care about the Gazans. The Saudis don't care about the Gazans. The Egyptians don't care about the Gazans. Like, no one cares about these people. That's the worst part. Americans don't care about them, right? Obviously, who's talking about them now? Nobody. So, yeah, the only one talking about them is Trump, who says he's going to get them out. That's it. No one else even talking about them, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and this goes well. I really do. I hope I'm wrong and it goes well. And look, so far, Trump's stuff hasn't been going that bad. It's been going okay. So maybe he's got the plan, and maybe it's, fine. I'm going to hope so. I'm going to hope for the best. Clooney says, what will create a definitive tipping point for mankind to want to choose peace? Man has been killing each other from day one. I think one of the things that would do it, to be very full with you, is very, very, very cheap energy. I'm not joking. Super cheap energy. When we have super cheap energy, we can do things on our own. When we do things on our own, we don't require taking stuff from others. I think very, very cheap energy is going to help tremendously on this one, right? We're not fighting for energy, fighting for this. And here's the issue. If you have unlimited energy, you have unlimited water. If you have unlimited water, you have unlimited food. Does that make sense? Right? You can make all that happen together. So now I have unlimited energy, in theory, if it's very, very cheap, or zero, which gives me water. Why? Desalination, which gives me food. You don't fight as much because the resources aren't there to fight over. So I think that will help it much, much more. Yes. So I think that's a big piece, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. All right, let me grab some more of these if I can. All right. Robert says, there is an alternative than to force an entire population to leave home. I don't know if there is. And that's the hardest part. I don't know if there is, Robert. I don't know if there is, right? It's let me try to make this. If you knew ahead of time that America was going to destroy some of the Native American populations, if you knew, like you know, okay, when American settlers come in, we're taking the land, you're losing it. Would you have, if you knew, again, I'm Robert, in this case, you have magic powers, it's, whatever, the 1700s, 1800s, you're there, you have magic powers in sight, and you go, okay, this is going to go badly for you. They're going to take your land. You're losing your land. They're more powerful than you. No matter what you do, you're going to lose. Do you advise some of the native tribes to fight? Or would you advise them to do something else? And it's a serious question. Now, you might go, I don't care. They should fight to the end. You might say that. But you might go, no, don't die on a battle that you're never going to win. Negotiate or move voluntarily or do something else or make other deals or, whatever the case may be. Might you tell them that? You might, is what I'm saying, right? And I'm looking at if I could look back, another one, I'll go to a more recent one. If you're in 1920s Germany and you've got a bunch of Jewish people saying, no, I'm German, I've been born here. Would you tell them stay and fight and try to survive the Nazi regime? Or would you go, dude, get out of here. Just leave. Just leave. I can see this. Leave. And they might tell you, it's my life. I'm born in Germany. This is where I'm born. This is my family's here. I'm German. My family fought in World War I. We defended this country. Why would I leave? You might go, you know what? No, you should leave. You might tell them that. Again, is it fair? No. But if you could look into the future, would you tell them do something else? And I think this is my point here. There may not be a better answer. And again, I'm not saying it's good or right. I'm just saying this is what might be the right answer. That's what I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. So I hope that makes sense, at least where my head is on this one. So yes. MW Knox. I'm very concerned that America can continue to give Israel carte blanche will lead to a terrorist attack on our soil. Israel's actions are seen as ours because we underwrite everything they do. Excuse me. It is a worry. It is a worry. I think it is a worry. But one that we have to accept. I think we're going to do that. Yeah, we have to accept that worry. Roy says, agree, Larry, that resolves scarcity issues. However, the world needs to get serious about religious terror groups. The Gaza war is not about resources, but about Israel's right to exist. I think it's both. Imagine if you had enough energy and cheap energy to where you could create a small homeland someplace nearby or something like that. Or you could allow the Gazans to have their own desalination plant or something like that. I think you could make it easier, right? If you had more, one of the reasons, and there are obviously lots of them, but one of the reasons why so many Gazans were okay with what was happening with Hamas is they had no hope themselves. But what if they would have had their own hope with their own, I don't know, mini nuclear power plant? I'm making that up. I don't know if that would have happened, but something like that, right? Something like that. They might have been like, no, we got good jobs. We can sell some energy out here. You know what? We'll make a deal. We'll make a border. We'll have our own little small city state, and we'll make a deal with the Jews, and we'll make the deal with them, and we'll be good. They might have done something like that right there, because enough of the people there might have been like, we have a reason to make our own money and to have our own lifestyle that, you know what, we're good. You know what, we're going to call this little spot ours. We'll make a deal with North or South, whatever. I mean, you have a chance, at least I'm saying. So I think it could. While you're right, there are still issues with religion or ideology. Over time, just wanting to live and be happy can kind of make some of those go away. I think it could. So, yeah. John says cheap energy, drill, baby, drill, and nuclear for electric. Yes. Thermal reactors. Yes. Absolutely. Agreed to all of that. Yep. Phil says take the money and run. Yes. I think some people would have done that. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Phil says the Cherokee were successful for a short time to integrate. For a short time, they were. Yes. Absolutely. For a short time. Yep. For a short time. Lunatic says no one is prepped for the outcome of ideas. Depends on what idea it is. Yes. So, let's see if I can go here. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. True. Yep. True. Yes. Mike says, to your point, Larry, you can be Palestinian anywhere in the world. Yep. True. Nations change names all the time, but people and these don't change, or eradication, and the people are forgotten forever. That was my entire point, right? I agree with you. You can still call yourself Palestinian. You can still believe you're Palestinian. You can still whatever. But if you move to Egypt, right, or to Jordan, you would choose yourself as your family went on. Are you more Egyptian or are you more Palestinian? You would decide on your own. Like people who come to America and think they're more Irish than American or whatever, or Turks who go to Germany and think they're more Turkish or more German. But that would be up to you to decide yourself. Would you feel more Palestinian? Would you feel more Egyptian? As life went, you would make a decision any way you want, right? So I think I agree with that. You would spend more time deciding that, and they would exist and do what they want. Would you feel you are more Gazan than you are Palestinian? Whatever. And again, you could decide that in another country. That makes any sense. I agree with you, Mike. I think that's a much better way. It's a better chance of them surviving and moving on is that way. And sadly, yeah. Phil goes on to say the Germans born in Russia settled there during Catherine the Great, but saw bad outcomes of the World War II. Yes. And again, if you look at that, what would you say? Right? What would you say to people if you knew that this wasn't going to work well? Right? If you knew. Yes. Roy says, agree, Larry. If Gazans has self-determination and real non-tariff-funded economy, they would stand up to Hamas. But Hamas spent 20 years of freedom from Israel building not an economy, but a war machine. And it was all religion driven. They didn't attack their brethren in Egypt or Jordan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I go back to it, right? Excuse me. If they had an actual plan where they could, if you could have created a city-state of Gaza, right? A Gazan city-state, if you could have created that, right? Then there may have been people who said, you know what, we don't want this. Hamas, you got to go someplace else, right? We don't want you here. That might have happened. I think that could have happened. I don't know if it would have happened. I don't know the details of it, but it could have happened. And then maybe now when the Iranians decide, hey, I want to, give money. Well, now the money being made in Gaza is like, we make enough, man. We don't need it. You can throw money out. We could just work. I think it would have helped. Again, I don't know if it would have fixed it, but it would have helped. And I think if you did it over 20 years of not trying to build a war machine, but building an economy, you probably don't have that big of a deal. I'm with you. Libertarian, thank you for the $10. Larry, as a Marine, soldier, constitutional radical, sworn oath. I have no fear as you should. I already gave a life, so did you ideologically. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Larry, as a Marine, soldier, constitutional radical, swore an oath. I have no fear as you should. I already gave a life, so did you ideologically. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Are you saying, do I have fear fighting in my own country? I don't. Do I want to send our Marines and soldiers into Gaza to defend Gazans and defend Israel? I don't. I feel if I'm gonna send our soldiers, our Marines to fight, it's for Americans, not for the Gazans, not for the Israelis. Israelis have their own soldiers. They can do the job themselves. I don't want us doing it. I don't want us owning that land. We don't require more colonies. I don't want that. I don't want any of that stuff. I want to leave it alone. I want them to find their own answer. This is what Trump said this, and now he's not saying it. Trump said this way. He goes, it's their problem. I have to deal with it. It's their war. I agree. Now, if they want us to help them grow it, I'm in. Right? To Roy's point, if they want to, if we want to start setting up some nuclear power plants in there, or even some desalination plants, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Whatever it takes, yes. You want to, if they actually wanted us, and I mean this seriously, if they actually wanted us instead to help them to rebuild the Riviera, an actual Riviera there, so you could have an actual tourist spot to where the Gazans could actually make money off of tourism. Why not? Okay, then I'm in. Let's do that. Great idea. I mean, one thing Americans do is build tourism. We got that down. We can do that really well, right? We don't do that. Let's do that. I think it's great. We could do that 100%. But I don't see any of that. So my worry is we get sucked in to something that's not going to work, and that's going to keep us there for 10, 20 years like Afghanistan. And then we spend 20 years in Afghanistan and we replace the Taliban with a more powerful Taliban. Or are we going to go into Gaza and we replace Hamas with a more powerful Hamas? Right? That's the worst of all worlds, which I do not want. That's the worst of all worlds, right? That we replace Hamas with a more powerful Hamas. That's the worst of all worlds. Now we've screwed Israel over even worse, screwed ourselves over even worse, made the Middle East even worse. That is my biggest worry, right? And we don't even know what's happening with Syria yet. We don't even know what's happening with Syria yet, right? We don't even know about that. We'll see that. We'll see how that works. We will see how that works. Anyway, I'll be after it. Guys, I want to ask you one more time, if I could, please, if you would, click the button known as like. If you haven't shared this, please share it or repost it now if you would. And of course, please subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. All those things matter. I know I have a cold. I apologize. I'm doing a lot of sniffling and stuff, but I'm getting over it. I should be over by tomorrow. I'm going to try my best to see if I can come on again tomorrow at 7 p.m. if I can make it on time. I will try to do that if I can. I will do the best of my ability to get back on again. I have other things I want to chat about. I hope this was an interesting show. I'm going to take off, though. Guys, once this is over, please, if you don't mind, tell me what you think will happen in Gaza. What you think will actually happen in Gaza. Will we actually take it over? Will we build something? Will nothing happen? What do you think will actually happen? I will see you all very soon.